All right, it's 9 o'clock on February 10th, 2022. I'd like to call the DCRC meeting to order. Let's start off with the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Brad, do you want to call roll?
Yes, sir. Bryce Conyers.
Here.
Angie Moyer.
Here.
Carrie Wiggerly.
Here.
Eugene Whitehead.
Present.
John Adams.
Here.
James King absent.
All right, number 3, approval of the minutes from the January 13th, 2022 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Got a first and second. Brad, do you want to call roll?
Yes, sir. Angie Moyer.
Yes.
Carrie Wiggerly.
Yes.
Eugene Whitehead.
Yes.
John Adams.
Yes.
I'm sorry, you're not voting. Apologies, I'm just reading the list. Bryce Conyers.
Abstain.
Okay.
Number 4, resolution 2022-01, ED agreement for Jones Brothers Trucking.
Yeah, so I had shared with all of you yesterday afternoon the resolution and economic development agreement that Joe had prepared. It's a standard template economic development agreement that we do with most projects. Long and the short of it is that the company has to complete the construction of their promised investment prior to the money being distributed. The 10% pledge totals $150,000. The $1.5 million is their approximate capital investment in building of the project. So today, Paul Jenkins is with us here today to answer any further questions. I as well. So appreciate your support to advance this. As you know, there's a lot of activity in the industrial center, and they're going to need trucking services in the industrial center. So we're glad he's bringing the jobs and the investment to Delaware County and bought a piece of property here.
Yeah. Just wanted to say thank you guys for helping us out. This is really meaningful for us and our company being based in Montana, but this being our first addition as far as our terminal to run our entire East Coast operation here in Muncie. So we're really excited to be a part of the community here. And we're going to bring a lot of high-paying jobs. So right now we're actually scheduled to break ground next month, weather permitting, with a tentative completion date of early December. So everything's moving forward very well for us, and the help from you is going to be instrumental in that. So we're very thankful.
Anybody else have any questions? If not, I would entertain a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
Got a first and second. Brad, do you want to call roll?
Yes, sir. Carrie Wiggerly.
Yes.
Eugene Whitehead.
Yes.
Bryce Conyers.
Yes.
Angie Moyer.
Yes.
Thank you very
All
much.
right, moving on to number 5, Daleville 2-acre purchase agreement approval.
Okay, so at the last meeting, you had approved a purchase of 2 acres, or us negotiating with a buyer for 2 acres west of the Wesco building. Joe Retz had provided some revisions to the purchase agreement to the buyer. I have shared those with them. They have let me know verbally that they approve all of those, but I have not received a signed addendum back. So at this time, it's just an update on that. We might have an actual revised addendum to consider at the next meeting.
Okay.
Okay?
Daleville 6-acre request for bids.
Okay, so the 6-acre request, there is just over 8 acres total west of the Wesco building. Parceling off this 2 acres that we just discussed, there's 6 acres left. I have received a call from Tracy Lutton, who connected me with an interested party. It's an engineering company from another state, and that state is escaping my mind right now. But anyways, they work with a company that builds small warehouses for distribution of food goods, and they are interested in that location for the construction of a warehouse facility for distribution of food goods. And so they have asked us what the procedure is to purchase that 6 acres. In talking with legal counsel, he's advised, since they don't own adjacent property, you as the redevelopment commission have to issue a request for proposals, of which they and everyone who would be interested would respond to, and then you would consider their proposal to purchase the property. So I would ask for your approval at this meeting for myself and Joe to issue a request for proposals for the property and hopefully have those open by next month's meeting. So we can receive a proposal back from this gentleman, see exactly what he wants to do.
Mr. President, I'll move that motion.
Second.
First and second. Randy, you want to call roll?
Yes. Okay, Eugene Whitehead,
Yes.
Bryce Conyers,
Yes.
Angie Moyer,
Yes.
Carrie Wiggly.
Yes.
Thank you. We'll get that underway.
Thank you.
Mundell environmental sampling change order.
Yeah, so I gave a little detail in the email that I sent to you about the Mundell work that's underway at this time. They have sampled 300 different properties around the industrial center. It has gone very well. The people whose homes that they have been to sample have given good feedback and have been very appreciative of what's going on. It has taken more time to do this work than they originally thought. It's been harder to get people to respond to the offer and to explain it to them is one of the things that has slowed it down. The second thing is they would like to do an additional private well sampling at all of those homes since they now have established contact. There are a couple areas where they are, the levels of lead contamination were elevated. They were not over those thresholds, but they believe that they need to do a second, or I'm sorry, I think this would be a third. This would be a third sampling just to verify, to make sure that they're within the ranges that they need to be. So it's my recommendation. I think it's a good thing to do. We need to continue to keep an eye on the environmental conditions in the industrial center. So I'd ask for your approval. The work is $39,814 to complete the work.
I have a question, Brad. Do you know how many properties are actually being taken under this survey or research?
He had told me a number. There is many more than what were sampled
Okay.
that have not responded or did not respond. It's just difficult to get some people to understand and want to let somebody in, but
Yeah.
they have made a good effort. They've even worked with the local, there's a couple local representatives from concerned environmental citizens who have, been on site with them, have followed the process all the way through. And we were hopeful that those two individuals would be, help get that word out to some of those folks. So that's ongoing now.
Okay. I'm just trying to understand the scope of what we're trying to deal with here.
Yeah. So it is houses on Hoyt Avenue. It's houses off of 23rd Street, Breezewood Addition, those areas. So we're all familiar with that area. So yeah. It's also important too to do this work in talking with Inox, CanPack, they're making significant multi-million-dollar investments in the community. They want to ensure that their investments are not in an area that there is contamination. When you're spending that kind of money, you want to make sure that, so it's a good thing to do on behalf of not only the citizenry, but the new companies making the investments as well.
It's my understanding that this all is based on when Delco Battery was operating out there. That's where this initial concern comes from, right?
Yes, and I don't want to point fingers.
No,
But
I'm sorry. It's a public venue.
you're all right. But the one of the things we were doing was identify if there is an area where there's high concentrations.
Sure.
Then this environmental company has explained to me that then they can start to trace back where the concentrations came from and find a point of origin, find a time frame of point of origin. It may not be an ongoing point of origin now. It may be a historical point of origin.
Correct.
But we want to make sure that people are healthy in the area.
Yeah, and I'm currently dealing with IDEM on another property that has similar kinds of concerns, and they can be, how should I say this?
Tactfully.
Public meeting. They can be challenging.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I could see, if they wanted to, they have the ability to make us go fish someplace else.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Go ahead.
No, I just said we're finishing up. We've been working on the CR3 over there. We're just finishing up. That's we've been 3 years.
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay,
I mean, they can take some time, and it's frustrating.
it
But
is.
just like that, we're taking another one that was bad inside that area. We've cleaned it up. We know the sources. We know what we've got to do.
Mhm.
You're right in the deal as you insinuate in the first comment, but the tracing of it. We've all heard the horror stories.
Oh, yeah.
We're getting closer and closer to
Okay,
the center of it.
okay. I'm not trying to drag the meeting
No,
out,
that-
I'm concerned about that.
Well, we see our, like he said, going to, we're getting closer, like you said.
They have a lot of horsepower, they can,
We're a historical manufacturing community.
yeah.
There's a lot of historic, we all grew up around these.
There's a lot of bodies buried out
We
there.
know this, and we're not the only place. I mean, Marion, Newcastle,
Bunch of
Portland.
Kokomo, oh, yeah, all
They
of them.
all have these same things, and it's
Those are just the big ones. You think
across
about the
the
little
United
ones
States,
off
so-
to the side that we all forgot about.
Yeah, the little tool and die shops, and
Exactly.
yeah, oh,
Those
yeah.
places everybody's forgot about or has been leveled and gone. They're still, what's not.
Selma,
above ground,
Albany,
they're below ground,
Gaston,
Still
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So since the 1980s, this started to become a thing of testing and doing environmental
Mhm.
remediation at sites. It's now gotten more serious, and people start to understand that there are actual impacts
Right.
to our community from these historical operations that and another part of the problem is if there is a historical operation and you purchase it, you don't do your environmental due diligence, you inherit the responsibility
Correct.
for the environmental contamination.
Correct.
So it can make properties in your community actually not only have a zero value, but have a negative value because you have to pay to clean them up if you buy them. So, yeah.
I'll make a motion that we approve the Mundell change order.
Thank you.
Second.
Got a first and a second. Brad, you want to call roll?
Yes. Eugene Whitehead,
Yes.
Bryce Conyers,
Yes.
Angie Moyer,
Yes.
Carrie Wiggerly.
Yes.
Thank you.
And J. Crew property maintenance agreements. Brad?
Okay, so there are two property maintenance agreements. There were no price increases on either of these. One is for the Morris and Bethel corner, which you're familiar with, that the commission owns. The other one is for the responsibility of the landscaping at the Fusion Road Shell Building. Eugene brought up a good point. We are supposed to be closing, cross your fingers, on the Shell Building this end of this month. Joe Reds had advised that we have a 30-day termination notice in that agreement. So if this closes by the end of this month, I'm going to have you sign it. But if this closes by the end of this month, I'll immediately notice them. And then before any services will start, we'll already terminate the agreement. So.
Sounds good. I'll move to approve both maintenance agreements.
I'll second.
Got a first and second. Any questions?
Brad. Bryce Conyers,
Yes.
Angie Moyer,
Yes.
Carrie Wiggerly,
Yes.
Eugene Whitehead.
Yes.
Thank you.
Invoices. Any questions on any of the invoices? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
First and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And bond payments. Any questions on those?
Are we confident in them?
Yes, we are. And the two that were related to CanPack, I was advised by Baker Tilly to just forward those to CanPack for their responsibilities.
Motion to approve.
Got a first,
Second.
first and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any public comments, discussions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second that.
First and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?